All right. So right now we can see Bitcoin is currently in a range, right? As always, crypto, stocks, they're always trading in ranges. We see a nice local range here, along with a parallel channel happening at the same time. So we'll see here which way this breaks out. I do like the way how this channel is looking. A very tight, compressed channel. It's interesting just to watch this price action over the next few minutes here. What I'll do is I'll actually open up another tab. Go ahead and paste this here. And we can go ahead and look at something else in the meanwhile. Ethereum, I think, is going to go lower. I think the next target for Ethereum, if it doesn't bounce in this area, would be roughly around $2,060, right? This point of control. So we have the point of control of this overall range. You could even pull it down to here. So it did shift slightly. So including this little area, we get the point of control up here. But if we go back to here, just that little bit of volume, it's probably because of this candle, right? If I stop right before that candle, let's see, yeah, so the point of control still stays down here. You can see high volume up here too as well, so that's why when price went up, it pretty much gravitated up here. A lot of volume was transacted, probably because there's just so much volume in this one candle, right? There's just a lot of volume in this one candle right here, right? All right, so since there's a lot of buys and sells in this area, price eventually comes back up, tests that area, right, before rejecting, and then eventually making its way back up, staying up there for quite some time while some trades happen. And now the sellers have stepped in a little bit more, or the repricing of Ethereum is showing that it is overvalued compared to trading at 2,400, right? Let me go ahead and put out this link since we started another new live stream. All right, so I was looking at the daily, and after getting rejected, go back and remove this. And regardless if we keep this right there or if we just put 1 day forward and it switches here, the target still remains roughly around here. But I kind of like this a little bit more. It's a little bit more clear to me because we have the high volume node up top, high volume node below. This is showing exactly where the highest volume traded is, which is going to act like a magnet. And also, the magnet is being attracted to $2,000 psychological level, which in my opinion would be a nice target. Let me see something here. So we have seen sensitivity in this area, 2,150, where buyers did not want to see price go below 2,150, or I should say the algorithm didn't want to see price go below 2,150, right? That being said, became a nice little support. Price came down, retested that area, flipped support into resistance right here, came back down, retested that area one more time, impulse higher, took out liquidity of this high, and never traded back up to 2,500, 2,466, and slowly sold off again. And where are we right now? We're right back at that area. So I would expect either a bounce to happen, which is kind of what's happening now, or we're going to see a large influx of volume to push price through this level, then targeting 2060 one more time, right? Because typically you don't really see price go through a level without some volume coming in, right? So look at this here. We had a high here. Price started to move up, and then what happens? In order to break this high, a huge amount of volume comes in, pushes price through that high. And then the same thing pretty much happens actually here too as well, right? When you look at this candle, right? So you look down here, massive volume comes in to break this high. Even to break this high, once again, you get a massive amount of volume on this candle, price sells out, and then what happens when price is trying to attack these highs again? Massive amount of volume comes back in. And then since then, you don't really see a big amount of volume coming in at any point. Besides here, we see a big amount of volume comes in to take out these highs, even takes out this high too as well before selling off. And then it also works the same way to the downside, right? So to break through this support here, we'd had a massive amount of volume to come in, push price down. We kind of had a little bit of a bullish push up, but we still protected these highs and price continued to sell off there. Now we're just kind of right back at the support zone. Obviously not a bad area to go long, just based off the support resistance theory. Right. If you were to go long here, and go ahead and hide this, which would not be a bad idea, just because at the end of the day, if you're looking at a range, this is the bottom of the range, this is the top of the range, level to level. If this breaks, then the next target would be down here at 2050 with a bigger target right here at around 2950. Right. So in my opinion, not a bad area to long. If I was going to take the trade, you have about 2% risk, right? 1.9. And then you want at least a 1-to-1. 1-to-1 will bring you basically right there, right? So right at this level, which is pretty interesting. But you want, in my opinion, you might want to try target at least a value area high, which gives you about a 2-to-1, 2.5-to-1 risk reward. But best case scenario, at least take it back up to the highs of the range, right? Which would be at least this high, which then turns into a 6-to-1. And if you get really lucky, or the trade goes well, you could probably get a 7-to-1 trade to take out those highs, right? Just off of this little trade right here. So not a bad trade for Ethereum, in my opinion. Definitely something to keep in mind. I don't really like this. I might have to go back to... I know it did hurt my eyes a little bit, but I might actually have to go back to this. I think I just like it a lot better. Oh, shit. Oops. Let's go ahead, put that here. Let's turn the color all the way back up. This template. Save as, and I believe it was 1. Because 2, oh shoot, what is 2? Let's see what 2 is. What just happened there? Oh, that's how that happened. Okay, that's a quick one. Boom. So 2 is the white. Interesting. Forgot I did that template. I have a whole bunch of templates here. I did bars as well. I do like the bars. It's different. We have my white bars. Also like that as well. And then we have, what else we have here? Yes. This one was always nice too as well. And then last but not least, we have ice. Right? Of course, you could take a wild guess why I call it ice. Right? But anyway, let's go back to the, I'll do the bars for now, actually. Where's the bars? I like this one. For now. No, we'll go with this one. Right? Yeah, so like I said, Ethereum's back at support. We can see if there's any confluence of this upper range, right? Let's pull the fixed range volume profile. Now we're below. Let's see here. Let's go from these lows. Yeah, we're just seeking lower prices. Let's see from the low. Yeah, everything's lining up here. 2050 seems to be the target for Ethereum. But yes, not a terrible area to long. Let's see what happens if we... Yeah, look at that. A lot of confluence here at this level. So I'm going to go ahead and set an alert here. Let's go ahead and 2080. And then we'll set it at every time. Because once this gets down there, I think that's actually a very good level to potentially go long, in my opinion. What I would be looking to do, right? We have the point of control of the overall range. We have the nav zone, right? It's my own little golden pocket, which is the .75 and 786 I made. I created, I guess. And it also lines up with the 618 of the overall range, which is very interesting, right? So this is a very interesting area to potentially go long. If you get a nice reaction here, we would have to hope that it could at least flip this area back into support, right? If it could bounce from this area, flip this into support, then for sure my target would have to be 2,500, right? And if price just continues to go up to at least tackle these highs one more time, which is not, you know, it's not impossible. You go from the highs to the lows. Let's see where 50%'s at, right there, right? So 50% of this retracement brings you right into this weekly level. And the yearly open too as well. So that's the confluence we have at 3,300. We have a untested weekly level, the yearly open, and we have a 50% retracement mark, right, from this entire range. So extremely important level here, for sure. This 618 is not as important, so let's go ahead and remove that. Right? And then the next level most important above that is about 4,100. So Ethereum for me, if we get a bounce here, even if we get a bounce here, the nicest targets would have to be 3,300 and 4,100. Right? We just have to see how that plays out over the next few hours here, or days and weeks, I should say. Remember to comment on the video. So that this way I can leave a comment. So I can chart whatever coin you want me to chart. Yeah, I have a whole lot of alerts here. You know, let's see, lab went off. I was actually keeping an eye on this because this project, which I didn't know was a decentralized exchange. All right, we could even go to coin market cap. Boom. All right, and we go to lab. Just like that. Market cap currently at 1.4 billion. Go to their website. And yeah, look at that. All-in-one trading terminal. Right? So at first I thought it was a meme coin until I went on their website and then I saw it was a decentralized exchange, more than likely. Which means, you know, I'm not surprised why we're getting this high volume. It's like it's on Aster and on Binance, so it's a Binance project. Yep, contract is associated with Binance coin, BNB coin. So very interesting. Yeah. So I'm not surprised that you see price action like this, right? It's an exchange, so it's gonna have a lot of play and power in volatility, liquidity grabs. I got stopped out here within like 5 minutes on this spike, right? It went from pretty much $4.80 all the way up to almost $8. So if you were short anything over 1x, right? Anything instead of spot for the most part, you got liquidated on this candle. So they wiped out every single person that was short that had a higher than maybe 1.5x leverage short. They wiped them out here. Price went back up and eventually created off, right? So this is what you call a scam wick. So whatever was happening here, someone probably saw the books, everyone was short, massive positions, 2x, 3x, 5x short, expecting this to happen again, right? Where price literally went from $4.05 all the way back down to 70 cents. A lot of people probably thought that was going to happen again. So they went short at the highs here once they saw this little sell-off. And then I was one of them. Then I got stopped out, right? Because I was expecting this to happen, which eventually did happen, but it took some time, which is obviously ridiculous. But that's trading. Use a stop loss. Because you never know when scam wicks like that can happen, right? Or scam dumps like this. Went from 4 to, it's probably like a 99% drop, 83. So if you were long here, anything over 2x liquidated. Short, anything over 2x liquidated. And then with this candle as well, if you were long, anything over 2x liquidated. If you're 2x long, you might have survived. But overall, let's go ahead and just pull the fixed range volume profile for this here. So a lot of volume back down here at 160 to go past this scam. A lot of volume there. So let's actually go a few candles in front of it. Don't like that. Just go off of, let's see here. This is the low. Pull that over. I'd say here that down close candle. So yeah, point of control, you can see price came up, respected it, right? Could even switch it just so it's a little bit cleaner. Tested it, and yeah, I mean, it just seems like here is a magnet, but I was potentially considering a long because based on this yesterday's price range, we're back at the 50%. It was range bound for a while, came down, front ran it, and then now finally took the liquidity over here and tested the 50% one more time. So I was just thinking it was probably an interesting trade to possibly go long in. We did not take the trade though. Still could possibly take this trade because it didn't really move much. I was expecting to enter right here, give a 2.5% stop, 13% target, risk reward 5 to 1. It's not too bad. Let's see, what are we at here? Yeah, it's also right at the nav. So yeah, very interesting confluence area. Not bad at all. And yeah, that's pretty much it with lab. Let's see what other alerts went off. XRP. I am actually long on XRP here. Stop loss below these lows because you have this trend line. Ton of liquidity here, which was taken right at the nav zone as well in the overall discount of the range. All right, so you're looking at this range. Let's go back to the 8 hour when looking at this range here. We're basically in the discount, and this is like a nice little liquidity grab wick. right, on the 4-hour. So I am expecting price to move up a little bit. I am targeting at least 4.6 right in the middle of this 4-hour fair value gap. Right. Sometimes I like to put it there so I know what time frame it's on. But yeah, this would be the nice first target. Well, this would be the first target. That's why I have an alert here. But this would be a nice target overall. And I'm going to delete that, trade the range. Final target, yeah, of course, I would love to take this up to 160 if possible. So we'll see what happens there. If it goes against me and stops me out, it is what it is. But yeah, that with Bitcoin. Oh yeah, I actually don't need to click that. 1 second here. Let's go back to XRP. Boom. So look at that. Broke out of the trend line. High volume down here, value area low since this low was made. Right, so this low was made 6 a.m. including yesterday's price action, Friday. Yeah, value area low is pretty low. Could be a possible target. A little bit of a demand zone based off these candles. But nothing too crazy. Trading back inside. Yeah, this range low is actually pretty interesting. It's interesting how on the 5-minute it's so far away, right? But then you go down to the 1 minute and the value area low is right on that range low right here. So it also just shows that this is a very interesting and sensitive area on Bitcoin. I do like that it's pumping right here. So that along with XRP, XRP is reacting obviously very similar, almost identical. It's literally identical. Look at this. Oh wait, this is XRP. They're both XRP. But anyway, so let's see here. But still pretty much identical, right? Goes green here, flips green and XRP here, and then yeah, it's pumping up. And I really want to see XRP give a nice little push here. Let's keep this on the 5. Yeah, there's more data on the 5. XRP will keep on the... I like seeing some stuff happening. Let's keep it like that. And then we'll just review some other coins. See Zcash. Everyone loves Zcash. I'll be honest, I didn't think it was actually going to go this far back up. What was the all-time high? Yeah, it made a all-time high of, let me see something here, Zcash USD. Coinbase still the longest. What was the longest one? Probably Poloniex. I'm surprised this thing's even still around. And this is why Poloniex is sometimes the best in terms of data. So the all-time high for Zcash was actually 798. Got close, didn't quite get there. But yeah, I was not expecting it to rebounce like this, especially after everything that happened with the I don't know if it was the developers or founders, whatever it was. Which was the main reason this happened, right? I was expecting the price to at least come back down to $75. But I was wrong. I did have a nice short in here, but clearly this thing has a different agenda. And let's just look at this on the yearly. Oh gosh. Let's go back to the regular Zcash here. Ridiculous. Yearly, super bullish. Tested the yearly order block. Quarterly. Massive order block here forming. Interesting. Yeah, monthly clearly bullish. One time framing on the monthly to the upside. Definitely should at least try to close above 537. You want to trade above 537, get a close there, so things to get really bullish, and hey, we might make new all-time highs for Zcash. On the weekly, getting a little bit of a rejection here, took these highs. This, my friends, is what you call a failed auction. More than likely, the week will close below this high. So price traded above, failed to stay above. And go ahead and close this. We have now been accepted back into the value area high of this overall range, which means the next target should be the point of control, which is all the way back down at 234. All right, so it's all the way back down at 234. That's the next major target because we have gained acceptance into the value area high of Zcash. All right. Could go ahead and draw a trend line if you want to try to do it that way. And we'll just see what happens when it gets here. If you break below here, then yes, for sure, targeting here. But maybe you get something like that. In my opinion, you'll probably end up getting something more like a breakout, retest. Some scam like that, right? More likely. All right. Sometimes you just gotta have some fun with it. Something like that. Right, who knows? But in my opinion, yeah, Zcash is definitely more bearish again. I would be expecting lower prices. Yeah, I'll just be bearish on Zcash right now. Not bullish at all. But seeing how this has been tested multiple times, I would not be surprised if you get a little, like they say, bump and run pattern, right? Breakout, retest, continuation, or breakout, right? Breakout, retest, continuation, or breakout, failed breakout, targeting the range. Or it's something like that. It's usually just how things happen here. Kind of like what happened over here. You had a breakout, a retest, continuation. But yes, overall bearish on Zcash because it's been accepted into the value area high. It's in a local downtrend. And I don't really know the utility of this project much. Besides, like every other crypto, just able to use the algorithm to send value across the networks, right? That's pretty much it. Like this video, subscribe, leave a comment in the chat of a crypto you want to see me chart, and I'll chart it for you. See what else we got here. Tau, BitTensor. Yeah, definitely an interesting area to long. I've been watching this one. I've been waiting for this level. Waiting just to see a sign of strength, right? That's why I have this little note here. And there hasn't been any major sign of strength, right? I know it's the weekend, low liquidity, but nothing really impressive has happened. All right. Fair value gap, support, resistance turn to support. There's small trades here for people that are super aggressive, but it's not much, 1%. But I am liking how this is starting to curl. What's going on here? All right, because it could continue. Maybe something like that. We're at a weekly fair value gap here. So are you getting a little bounce? There was a weekly fair value gap here. That's why we had this nice reaction. And we're back at a weekly fair value gap mixed in with the 618 retracement and the 50% of this overall range. So a nice little confluence area actually. So I would not be surprised to get a nice little bounce at this level for BitTensor. Right, so yeah, BitTensor at support. Interesting area to long, in my opinion. Obviously, none of this is financial advice. Leave a comment, like the video, leave a comment of a crypto you want to see me chart, and I will pull it up. I was going over Lab, which recently has been going crazy. Let's see what's going on with some of these. What's newly released? Let's see. Oh, it's prediction markets. No, let's go to cryptocurrencies. How do you find the new cryptos? What is this new? What is this? Let's see which one's been going crazy the past 24 hours. Wow. Luna Classic. The highest pump in the past 24 hours. This project. Oh my god. Humanity. About the last hour. Nothing really about the past 7 days. Kite. I haven't heard any of these. Kite, Humanity. Obviously heard of Injective, Flare, Quant, and Just. What is that? It's definitely a meme coin. This has to be a meme coin. Let's see what the website looks like. Oh, Definitely not a meme coin. I'm not really sure what this is. Oh, all these websites look the same. Backed by, oh, Coinbase. That is interesting, actually. This is very interesting. Google Cloud, Coinbase, PayPal, World Liberty Finance, Avalanche, BitGet, OKX. They have some pretty big ecosystem partner highlights. This is very interesting, actually. It's funny how a lot of these projects don't have the team listed anymore. Back in the day, the team would be listed on a lot of these crypto projects, but now it's just the team is never listed. Let's go to their X account. Let's see what's going on. Backed by PayPal. What? Who are these guys? Let's follow them. I don't know what's going on with these guys, but if you're backed by PayPal, you're backed by Coinbase. Let's see who are they on, what markets they on. Binance, oh, they're on Coinbase listed. Interesting. All right, let's go check them out. Let's see here, Kite USD. Let's see what's going on with this random project. Let's see how long it's been out. Listed on Coinbase in November last year. Okay. Bullish chart, right? You got a low here, you got the high, another swing low on the monthly. The weekly, super bullish. Wow. Interesting, strong looking project, right? So should we chart this? Yeah, I don't see why not. Let's go ahead and I see a lot of volume here. Kind of want to rule that out. Let's go from this dump here. Or let's go from this low. No, actually we're going to take that all out. As you can see with this line, right? This stopped right around here. So we're going to go ahead and only use this. Okay, and then let's go from the high just to see what's going on here. It's at the value area high, stopped right now. Interesting. I'm actually gonna keep it just like that. But is there a higher target? No, not really, huh? What you could do though is, as you can see, this was a previous range, right? Price broke inside, consolidated, tested it high, low, then broke below. And now we have reclaimed that range, right? So since this is a previous range, we can do the fixed range volume profile off that range. Hit the solo. We can go ahead and put the value area low. Put the value area high. And yeah, I guess, it's probably why it's actually getting rejected. Can go ahead and put the point of control, right? So this is the most relevant range for Kite. We have gained acceptance into the value area low. tested the point of control, kept trading between this. So naturally, once you get accepted into this area, there's a very balanced profile too as well, a D-shaped profile. So we typically can expect at least a rotation to the upside, which is at I could say 27 cents. So from where price is right now, it's about another 25%. I actually really like this. This is very interesting. If XRP doesn't do anything soon, I might have to jump in a kite. Price came up, create a swing low again, and now we're moving back up. A new daily candle just started. Let's go to the 4 hour and look at the sensitivity between these levels, the respect, right? Test, test, flip, test. 4 hour closes inside, came above, tested a point of control one more time, and it's just been bouncing in between. But as you can see, price came down, buyers, or the algorithm, I would say buyers, stepped in, bought it all up, sensitivity, because in my opinion, the next target should be the value area high. This as well, right? Some people will say, oh, look, it's a bull flag. Clearly broke out, trading above. Could do a measured move kind of situation. Measured move would be to take out these highs. But in my opinion, yeah, we're just trading. This is the range, ladies and gentlemen. As long as we stay above 20.5 cents, there's a very big chance we will rotate to 27 cents, which again is a 25% move to the upside, all based off of this previous range, fixed range volume profile, right? Tested a point of control. Price is holding up. It's been holding up here for 3 days. You can argue almost 4, but 3 days. It has not sold below 20.3 cents, 20 cents, which is a good sign. That means the value of this project is not below 20 cents, right? Meaning the value should be higher. And then the value area high is coming in at 27 cents. So I'm pretty bullish on this actually. I would be pretty bullish on this. You have a 1 hour fair value gap here, which has been respected. All right, as you can see, there has been no closes below the 50%, and now we're getting the bullish push to the upside. So yeah, I mean, I don't really see a reason I would not be long on this project, in my opinion. And then if you really want to be conservative, you can set a stop just right below here, because you can see that price is respecting this fair value gap, right? And that's a 1.8% stop, which is not too bad. You really don't want to go over 2%. So you're risking 1.8% to possibly get 24%. So it's a 12.8 risk reward. And if you want to be conservative, yeah, obviously stop loss below these lows. So you risk 5% reward, 24%. That's a 4-to-1 risk reward. And if you're smart, obviously, you don't risk 5 or 6% of your account, right? So, for instance, if you have $1,000, you would just divide it by, let's just say 5.8. You would then only put into the trade $172, because if you were to lose 5.8% of $172. That does equal 1%, right? So then we do times 0.01. Something around there. I think my math's off a little bit. Yeah, definitely off a little bit, because 1% of 1,000 is $10. So realistically, long story short, if it was 5% and you had $1,000, you really would only want to be trading with $200, because if you had $200 and you lost 1%, yeah, my math is off. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, if your stop loss is 5% away, yeah, you're only supposed to be trading with 1/5 of your account, so that this way, if it does get hit, you're only losing about 1%. I believe that's how that works. But anyway, calculate it. Only risk 1% of your trade. That's just how it goes. And you have to calculate these numbers so that this way, when you enter the trade, if you place your stop below here at 5.8%, whatever that loss would be, it should still only add up to 1%. So, for instance, if your stop loss was 2% away, you'd only want to trade with half of your account. If your stop loss was 4% away, you'd only want to trade with 20% of your account. 25% of your account. If your stop loss is 5% away, you would really only want to be trading with 20% of your account. So that this way, if your stop loss gets hit, realistically, you only lost 1%. I know that's how that works. I don't know why the math is not mathing up right now. Right? You have $1,000, stop loss 5% away. You really should be trading with 20%, right? Which would be 200, right? Times. Oh, yeah, that's why. It's 0.05, yeah. So there you go, 10%. I was doing 1%, yeah. It's supposed to be 5% because that's what the stop loss is at, obviously. So yeah, anyway, there you go. All right. That's how you do that. So just to go back, if you have $1,000 and your stop loss is 5.8%, let me see something. Let's do some math here. Yeah, I don't think this is right though. Yeah, roughly, I guess it's kind of right. Still around about, yeah. So yeah. Yeah, look at that. See? There's the impulse. It's a very big sell-off here. Price came back, traded above it, took out that high, inverted this fair value gap, holding this 1 hour fair value gap, and you're just getting a interesting bullish move to the upside on Kite. All right, let me see something here. No comments. No comments. Let's see. Comment a crypto you want to see me chart. I'm about to end this stream at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Let's go ahead and see what else we got going on here. This was an interesting find. Let's go back to cryptos ranking. Humanity. This gotta be a meme coin. This gotta be a meme coin. Let's see here. Internet trust layer. How these projects get so big? Market cap almost $1 billion. What is this? You can't even see anything on this website. This is not a well-designed website. You can't see anything. The heck? Bro. This white needs to be a different color. Like, it's... I like everything going on, but this white isn't it right here. It's just... Maybe it should be like... I don't know. A little bit lighter. Everything else is good, but this white is going crazy on my eyes. What the... Alright. Let's see. What markets are they on? Actually, let me see something. Where's their... See what their X account looks like. 186,000. Ash Crypto following it. Psh, this guy. Hilarious. What? What is this? Okay. Binance, Bybit. Okay, it's on Bybit. Crypto.com exchange. Okay. Volume. Alright, L-Bank. Alright, so let's go ahead and see what's it called. H. See if we can find H. Interesting. Also has, for the most part, just been in an uptrend since July of last year. Pretty impressive, actually. Yep, looks like a short trade has been initiated. High has been taken. Yeah, let's exclude all that high volume. We can actually go from all-time highs. Whoa. Why is there so much volume down here? What the heck? Let's go ahead and get that out of here. Wait a second. Yeah, that's crazy. Alright, so this is more like it, but I don't really like that. So let's see. Yeah, looks like the value is all below it at around 18 cents. Even if I pull it from here, still have the value area high is 16 cents. 18 cents. So yeah, this area here seems to be the highest amount of volume is. Next value area right down here. Liquidity grab. Yeah, not really much else to see here. Sometimes it's interesting to go by the candle closes just to see. Yeah, no. Yeah, I don't really see much of a trade here. Let's just see. Anyway, yeah, not really liking that. Let's go ahead and just pull it from here. Makes sense. Value area low right at the top of this cluster, right at the low here. Yeah, I don't really like this coin. This is just not really seeing much going on here. Did test that monthly. Yeah, seems like a sell side order has been initiated. Looks like a failed auction, tested a level, daily close below, consolidating, bigger move to the downside. This might just be a slow sell off back to at least 16 cents for humanity. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining. Like and subscribe. Kite is an interesting project. Gonna keep my eye on that one. Let's go ahead and add that to the watch list. Interesting price action so far. Bitcoin consolidating in the range to the downside. XRP finally looking a little bit bullish. I am along on XRP currently. Waiting for higher prices, at least $1.45. The minimum 144 cents. And we'll just see how this all plays out here in the next few days, the next few hours. Consolidating, downtrend. Bitcoin might continue to sell off even lower, which I do believe. I think Bitcoin is at least coming down to 76, 75,000. Test this trend line, the previous week's low, previous month's high, and also the value area high. So there's a very high confluence area here. Ethereum, same thing. At support, but I do believe this is a magnet, $2,050. So we're going to see how everything plays out here in the upcoming days. Thank you for joining. Remember to like and subscribe. Try to post updates pretty often. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you. And take care.